Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the Chelsea Hour. Pardon my tardiness, just, work and life and all that fun stuff. But I'm here now, and guys, you know how this show goes. We're ready to talk Chelsea, and we're ready to just spit what's on my mind. But before we go ahead and continue, big up to you guys in the chat. Thank you for being here. If you haven't done so already, smash up the like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And if you are already subscribed, consider joining our memberships, as we have growing tiers and growing features on those. The more we expand on this channel, the more things that I can bring forth to the table. So appreciate you guys' support. Appreciate the support of anyone who's already here. And let's get right to it. What is on my mind? Well, first thing that's on my mind is that Pep Guardiola, I hope you're okay, man. Yesterday, if you guys are watching the Champions League matches, Man City goes 6 winless now. 6 winless. Never before seen in Pep Guardiola's career. And they capitulated a 3-0 lead in absolutely shambolic ways. Now, I'm not going to sit here and talk about City. If you want to see my opinions on City, I do suggest you guys go over to Staffy TV. Over on the homepage, you'll see the playlist, and watch American Waffle's latest episode, where we talk about City's capitulation, Ruben Amorim, and we touch on Tottenham's form and so on and so forth. And in fact, as I am saying that, I realized I didn't put the latest episode on that playlist in the homepage. So I will be doing that right at this moment while I speak with you guys. But aside from that, Pep Guardiola did not take the draw yesterday very lightly, and as much as I want to sit here and laugh and enjoy the capitulation that is Man City's reign over the Premier League, it is a little scary when they come out and say things like that in public. I know Guardiola, to an extent, was a little off of his rocker. He is a character in a sense. I'm not going to sit here and say he's crazy, but, he's a genius. He's considered one of the greatest in the game for a reason, and sometimes that genius comes with a price. And I don't know, Guardiola's never had to face something like this in the past, and how he handles it, it's not looking very good, and it's kind of concerning for the Guardiola's sake of things. Outside of that, I'm all for, actually, let me pull this up. I'm all for What? Stay humble, eh? I love that picture. But, yeah. They have a very, very, very tough game ahead of them in the Premier League, which we will discuss shortly. But that being said, today, Liverpool in the Champions League get their sweet, sweet revenge. So if you're a Liverpool fan, congratulations. You got your revenge. You defeated the mighty Real Madrid, who, let's be honest, Real Madrid are in absolutely horrible form as of late. And it's a bit concerning. It's a bit concerning if you are a Real Madrid fan. I think Don Carlos' days are numbered. I don't think he comes back from this. And listen, to an extent, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's now having to be forced to shoehorn in an Mbappe that doesn't, fit the style of play or the system he's trying to implement. And listen, I might be waffling, but I think it makes sense to me. So it's just not working out for the guy, which sucks because I love Don Carlo. But yeah, man, 2-0. Apparently they missed the penalty as well, but to not even put a goal up against Real Madrid is kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Or against Liverpool is being Real Madrid. I ain't gonna lie. It's not looking good for you guys. So, hey, Liverpool, congrats on the victory. No one expected Liverpool to have this type of a season at this point. We would think that Liverpool would have this season, the next season, once they've established themselves, especially not having gone to the transfer window, which is just bizarre. But that just goes to show how serious Arne Slot is of a manager. And an Arne Slot that I need to remind you people, we were linked to. At some point, Arne Slot was linked to Chelsea, but we went from Mauricio Pochettino.
Mauricio, I can't.
I am not a clown.
Fucking clown. Anyways, so all that aside, that's recent news. It just happened. So big up to them. I wish we were in the Champions League, but tomorrow we have a game in the Conference League. And I think tomorrow is going to decide quite a few things for Chelsea and how we go about approaching the next few games. We have a incredible run of fixtures. Our next game is against Villa, then Southampton, and then we're up against Spurs. And Spurs and Villa, listen, I'm not going to disrespect Spurs. I know we beat Spurs all the time, but I'm not going to disrespect Spurs. Okay? We saw what they did against City. You never know when they can decide to show up and do something like that to Chelsea. I'm not going to disrespect Spurs, but I am expecting a victory. So, after Spurs, it's very, very, very winnable games. Very winnable games. And so, it strikes a very peculiar question of where exactly are we in terms of expectations and the goals and what the club is thinking and what the players are thinking. What's their perspective? What are they being told? For me, I want to, before I even get into that, I'm going to start off with some of the nice things that I've noticed this week and giving praise. And listen, this is one thing I'll never understand from Chelsea fans. One thing I'll never understand from Chelsea fans. And not you guys in the chat. I would like to believe my community, for the most part, is pretty understanding and a rational set of people. However, that's not to say that the other Chelsea fans that we see in the asylum, that is Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, doesn't mean they don't have their fair share of reactions. And what I'm getting about is the fact that here at Chelsea, not only do we not have patience for a process, we don't have patience for players. And when I say that, I want people to remember how critical people were of Koulibaly, of let's think Koulibaly, of Timo, of Kai, so on and so forth, Cucurella, Nicholas Jackson. In their first season. Mind you, I know those players, a lot of those players deserve the criticism that they got. Jorginho's another great example too. And the thing is, I always give 2 seasons, right? I give 2 seasons. Carefree Lewis gives 2 seasons. There's a fair share of content creator that gives their fair share of time. And I know to a certain extent, there's certain things that aren't excusable, even if you need time or not. I get that. However, I think Chelsea fans need to learn to just chill a bit. Especially if this season goes the way it could go, right? And I'll explain what I mean by that in a bit. But I think us as fans are way too quick to jump the gun. And the players notice it. The players feel it. And it doesn't help, right? Now, you could sit there and say, yeah, these players get paid a fuck ton of money. They should be able to handle it. I get that. Doesn't mean that what you do makes it any easier. That doesn't excuse shitty behavior. And what I'm getting about is the fact that Marc Cucurella, in his first season, was probably public enemy number 1 in terms of criticisms and dislike in the Chelsea fandom. And not only in the Chelsea fandom, but amongst the Chelsea community and Chelsea content creator community. Mind you, this was a player from Brighton that prior to his arrival to Chelsea, a lot of people wanted him, including Chelsea fans. So when he arrives at Chelsea, the amount of lambasting and criticism of him is absolutely insane when you take it to context, the fact that he spent a good portion of that season ill, like deathly ill. I believe he also got... Didn't his house also get robbed? I believe he also got robbed or some shit. So he wasn't having a good time in London. Change of manager, change of ownership, so many things going on. And on top of that, Chelsea being as shit as they were. Chilwell wasn't available for a lot of that season. We had to rely on Cucurella. And even when Chilwell was available, he wasn't that great. So to me, it strikes me of just a large amount of ungratefulness for players that, honestly, from day one, you could tell Cucurella put 100% effort into everything he did. You can hear it. Bro, my dude was passing like it was a tennis match. You remember that? The first game, he's just grunting and just hard as fuck at the ball. Like, this man was absolutely working his ass off for Chelsea and to try to garner the support of the fan base. But however, what I will say is that when the performances started to be more consistent, when there was more stability in the club, when things started getting a little better, I appreciate that the fandom now support him much more than was anticipated. You literally, the other day, we saw on Twitter a video of Cucurella just like getting emotional, right? But he's thanking the fans, and he said in an interview he's really thankful. He's been waiting a long time for that support from the fans. He said it. He's been waiting a long time. We've been through tough times. And that's referring to the amount of abuse and the amount of hate that was hurled at him. So when you have the fandom coming out and...
Cucurella, he eats paella, he drinks estrella.
As cringe as that is, my guy deserves it. My guy deserves it. Comes back from whatever he was on last season, right? Chilwell wasn't available. Cucurella starts to play, and he plays well. Has a consistent run, goes to the Euros, wins the Euros with Spain, comes back and is one of our most consistent players and arguably the best left back in the Premier League right now. So he deserves his flowers. He deserves his flowers because my man, Cucurella, is cooking.
Bro, it's Sam.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait.
So I think he's going to be very valuable to Chelsea, and we're now finally seeing how good of a player he is, and I'm super grateful for him. The other one I mentioned too was
Ladimus Jackson.
Now, I am guilty of criticizing the player, but you're allowed to criticize the player. I think fans need to realize the difference between criticism and just agenda, right? Because you have, you guys who watch the show, you guys already know. You have Ahmed coming on here trying to start some agenda that I had, or people in general saying I had an agenda against Nicholas Jackson. Never was the case. I only criticized the fact that he was touchy, very touchy on the ball. And I'm not wrong. I was never wrong about that. And I always caveated it with the fact that, listen, if he gets rid of those extra touches, if he starts working on his decision making and his finishing, I think we have a really good striker there because the dribbling was awesome, the physicality was awesome, the link-up play was awesome. It was there. It was so much better than what I ever saw from Kai Havertz in that same position. And that was something I praised Kai Havertz for, which is link-up play. Nah, what Nicholas Jackson does, that's link-up play. What Kai Havertz did was shit. And I admit it, my eyes have been open. As a Chelsea fan for the last 3, 4, 5 years that we've been watching this football club, right? And in terms of we, I mean since Lampard time, since the transfer ban, we have seen a drastic drop in what the bar is in terms of like what is a good player. It wasn't long ago where people were saying Mason Mount is our best player. Bro, how low did that bar have to steep for Mason Mount to be your best player? Now look at Cole Palmer and what he's doing. That's your best player. That's what a good Chelsea player is. Not the Mason Mount season that we saw. Although I do respect the Champions League season. That was a really good performance all around from Mason Mount in multiple games. But that's besides the fact. So when I see Jackson last season, I understand there's a player there that needs to be developed. I understand there's a player there that is doing his first professional season. I understand there's a lot of potential there that needs to be tapped. And as a result, patience was required. And of course, Chelsea fans and patience do not go hand in hand. And so he received a bunch of harassment. I'm sure he received a bunch of hate, a lot of unnecessary drama, a lot of things that he kind of put upon himself. We already know he had some bit of immaturity issues on the pitch and off the pitch. Okay. That stuff happens. Like, let's not pretend that our legends, you know, the ones that we grew up with, didn't get caught out at the nightclub and so on and so forth. Like, this shit happens. It's just what happens in professional careers, right? So as the season goes on, and this is the thing too, right? Like, as the season goes on, AFCON was the turning point for Nicholas Jackson, in my opinion. And listen, not every striker is going to be clinical. In fact, I would argue that no striker is clinical. Clinical to me would mean that when you get your one opportunity, you're 100% efficient and you convert 100% of your chances. That doesn't exist in football. That does not exist in football. And the only ones that ever came close to something like that were probably like Cristiano Ronaldo, regular Ronaldo, Messi, like legends of the game, right? Nicholas Jackson, last season after AFCON, turned it around completely. And we saw the amount of responsibility he put on his shoulders and how he also, with Cole Palmer, helped carry the team. People want to say Cole Palmer, but people don't want to acknowledge that Nicholas Jackson was involved in that as well. He was a crucial part of us and the fluidity of the attack going forward. And I saw Nicholas Jackson learn from his mistakes. He stopped being nearly as touchy around the box. He still had it from time to time. You know, it's hard to, shake off old habits. However, he was scoring more goals. And at the end of the day, last season, let me actually look at the stats. Last season, I think he had a 14-goal season, I believe. I need to remember. I kind of forgot. Last season, Nicholas Jackson had, well, this season he's on fire, right? But last season, let's look at his GNA last season. Last season, we're going on Transfermarkt. All seasons, I guess, right? So last season, he scored 16 goals, not even 17 goals, and 6 assists. So 22 GA. I got that math wrong. 23 GA. 23 GA across all competitions. 14 and 5 in the Premier League alone. To be able to do that, considering the striker profiles we've had in the past and the players that we've had in the past, that's matching Mount's best season. And Mount had been playing at that point longer than Nicholas Jackson had. Nicholas Jackson, first professional season to put up 14 goals in the Premier League ahead of a lot of other players that cost a lot more, is very impressive. So when you put context into it, it doesn't make sense to me why Chelsea fans needed to be so critical of him. And especially of John Obi Mikel. Like, John Obi Mikel, of all people, too. Like, listen, everyone's allowed to criticize, but when you have a platform like that and you're lambasting at the guy, like, come on, dude. So it's no shit that Nicholas Jackson came out and said what he said in the beginning of the season. And I sure hope they tie the knot, because I would love to see an interview between John Obi and Nicholas Jackson, because this season, Jackson is maturing into such an amazing player. And he is becoming one of my favorite players in this team because of just how good he is outside of just scoring goals. He's phenomenal. And he's still young, and the world is still, like, the sky is the limit with this guy. So we haven't seen him reach his potential. But, bro, what we're seeing now, he is, I'm telling you right now, this season, he is better than Isak. He is better than Solanke. He is better than Højlund. And if he can get a few more goals in him, he could potentially pass Haaland this season. It's very possible. It's very possible he could pass Haaland. And then we're having a totally different conversation about Nicholas Jackson and the amount of respect that he is owed. But this season, we're seeing a transformed, developing Nicholas Jackson, and I love it. I'm here for it. I am absolutely here for it. And you just got to give praise where praise is due, guys. You just got to give praise where praise is due.
Nicholas Jackson.
Bro, it's Sam.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait.
You gotta let him cook, man. You gotta let him cook. All right, let me see what's going on with chat. 20 minutes into the Chelsea Hour. If you haven't done so already, smash up the like, ladies and gents. A big up, Pelu. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Geniuses always have a screw loose. Yep, Guardiola's screw is definitely loose right now. That's for certain. 24th in the Champions League. Jesus fuck, dude. Is that Real Madrid or Man City? I don't feel like checking. So if someone wants to tell me. Timo Shitter. Yeah, Timo was... I don't know what happened to that guy, bro. He was good up until Southampton of that season, and then he just couldn't score anymore. Like, Frank Lampard permanently ruined that player. Eden Azar, what's going on, man? No panel today. This is the Chelsea Hour show. There's no panel for the Chelsea Hour show. It's just me. Just me, oh me, oh me. Big up EE, what's going on? Curry Pirate, nice blind, but now I see type of vibes. Nice blind, but now I see type of vibes. Interesting. Are we referring to Jackson here? Or Cucurella? Like, now I see the type of player you are, but there was blinds in the beginning? Like, is that what we're implying?
Huh?
Let Maresca cook. Uncrud? I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, bro. We gotta let Maresca cook. He also says here, like Havertz had a purple patch for Arsenal, maybe this is a purple patch for Miss Jackson. I'm still not convinced. See, the thing is, like, you can think that all you want, but Jackson never had a purple patch last season. And he managed to score 14 goals. Like, I can't name you a patch last season where Jackson was good and then he was shit for the rest. And that doesn't take away from the fact that he still did all the other things that people liked about him, which was dribbling and pace and physicality, hold up play. Like, he had all that last season. He brought it to every single game he played. So I don't think Jackson is a purple patch player at all. I think we are finally seeing Jackson be a clinical striker, and he's at 7. What's his goal tally right now, actually? Right now, he has, in 12 games played, he has 10 GNA, 7 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League. He's already halfway through his goal tally of last season. And we're not even halfway through the season. And we're going into our easy patch of games. And he scored against Liverpool. Like, it's night and day, dude. This guy's the guy. I'm convinced this man is the man. He is that guy. And we'll have discussions on what we're going to do with the striker situations soon. I do have a special surprise for you guys, which I'll discuss at the end of the show. But let's go ahead. TKL KGB, big up to you, my friend. Højlund went 16 games without a goal, had a 7-game purple patch, and went back to being dead food. Even you're better than Højlund, Marsh. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Broja is better than Højlund, for fuck's sake. I don't know about that either. We haven't even seen Broja play. That's the crazy part. Broja has not stepped foot on a single pitch this season. It's insane. And he's on loan. It's absolutely insane to me. But let's continue discussing, ladies and gents. If you haven't done so already, smash up those likes. It helps us out tremendously. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is Maresca, right? Maresca had a press conference today, and there are some things that he said in this press conference that, ladies and gents, I'm telling you right now, Chelsea, Maresca's cooking something, and I'll tell you what comes out of the oven after he's done cooking. We'll sort that out. Bro,
son. Yeah.
Wait.
Maresca is cooking something up. I'm telling you right now, he is cooking something up. All right, let me start off with what the first thing I want to talk about is respect to Maresca, because today he was asked about Reece James in a press conference for Hoppenheim, right? It's not Hoffenheim, it's Hoppenheim. Today he was asked about Reece James, right? And he gave an update. We don't know what's going on with Reece James. You got to scan in. We're waiting for the results. And then when he was asked kind of like, are you concerned about Reece James and what's going to happen? He basically said, and this is like, this won me, Heidenheim, thank you. This won me over because this is like, holy shit, this guy just blatantly came out and called out media, which is fucking badass. He came out and said, listen, right now, Reece James needs to focus on healing. I don't want him to focus on anything else. It's my job to make sure he's on track. And listen, I think if we want him to get better, I need to stop talking about it. You need to stop talking about it. The media need to stop talking about it because it puts pressure on him. And he needs to rest. And when he's ready to play, he'll play, and he needs to focus on healing. And honestly, bro, dude, I think that's so well spoken, because notice how Maresca said there's a small knock. Although I didn't believe him, but he said like, oh, Reece James had a setback, had a little knock on his hamstring or whatever. Twitter blew up, and all news outlets blew up with that story. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right when he says that. It doesn't help the player. It does put pressure on Reece James. So, like, when there's other players that get knocks or hurt like that, you don't get headlines like that. Bro, Reece James went viral that day. The day that was announced he got a knock. That's how obsessed, and mind you, it was the still an international break, but that's how obsessed media has been for clicks and stuff, because they know what's going to trigger the Chelsea fan base. And he's absolutely right when he says, if you guys stop talking about it, it helps him. He called out the media. He called out journalists saying, you guys need to stop asking me questions about this, because my answer is always going to be the same. And it doesn't help him. It only brings more spotlight, more attention to it, and it puts more pressure onto him. And he's absolutely fucking right. And I just appreciate him calling out the media for that. And yeah, Reece James, I really do think, listen, I understand the frustration. I understand where it's coming from. And listen, you guys heard me say it. I think it's time to move him on slowly but surely. We have to start phasing him out. I'm not saying this summer. It might not even be the next summer. But I think slowly but surely we need to start finding a replacement, a permanent replacement for Reece, and just integrate him out of the squad because he can't stay fit. But regardless of that, us coming out and calling him out and saying all this needs to be sold, and yeah, these players see this stuff. And we already know that Reece suffers from, it hampers on him mentally not being fit. He's as frustrated as all of us are. He's actually more frustrated than all of us are because he can't even trust his own body right now. He doesn't know what's going to happen next time he goes on that pitch, if his hamstrings are going to keep it together or not. And it sucks. It sucks to be in that position, which is why Maresca saying that, I hope relieves a lot of pressure off of him. I hope it makes the media back the fuck off and Reece can just focus on healing. And listen, the way Maresca said it too, he's not too stressed out about it. He's not disappointed about it. I think he put an arm over Reece's shoulder and said, listen, don't worry, man. You will heal up soon. You will be able to play. We're going to figure this out. Just focus on resting, heal up, and you'll be back soon. Trust me, I have you as a part of my plans. You have the support of us and everyone at the fan base and everyone at Chelsea, which I think is a very, very supportive way to go about it. And that's how we have to be. But that's the Reece James aspects of the presser, right? The other thing, and I'll probably bring this up on Casually because I would like to hear Casually Chelsea show because I'd like to hear the panel's thoughts on this. But the other thing too that I thought was out of left field because I didn't expect Maresca to say this, but he did, and it's interesting now. So remember how you guys remember how like earlier in the press conference he would always bring up João and Cole, and like there was this like teaser that eventually he was going to play João Felix with Cole Palmer, and he wants to do that. So Maresca today came out and admitted that Nkunku's best position is the 10. So he knows that Nkunku wants to play the 10. Yet earlier in the season, he says that the competition to the striker position was Nkunku. And he came out and admitted that, okay, I know Nkunku's preferred position is the 10. That's his best position. But right now, it's hard for me to integrate him because what they can provide attacking-wise is great. But defensively, I need to be able to defend. And he also mentioned Cole Palmer's ahead of him. He kind of basically admitted it like, Cole, it's hard for me to fit him in a 10 because you have players like Cole. And he's not wrong. Like Cole Palmer in that 10 position has been a rock star. But here's the thing. Here's where things get exciting, right? He also mentioned that he's still experimenting. He still wants to see how, like the last game he mentioned how we had 2 10s. And he had João as a 10 and Cole Palmer as a 10. He eventually will want to see, these players will get playtime. And I think this is all in response to the fact that people are saying like, hey, is Nkunku upset? Has he said anything to you? Would you let him go in January? Which he said no to, by the way. And he said Nkunku is a very valuable part of my squad and he's part of my plans. I will not let him go in January. I need him. Everyone was going to get playtime. And he mentioned trying Nkunku with Cole, trying Nkunku with Jackson, Nkunku with Felix in the 10. So I think, and he mentioned the fact that like for Leicester, we did Felix and Cole Palmer as a 10. But for Aston Villa, maybe we do something else. Maybe we do the same thing. So he is still experimenting with his lineup. He is still trial and testing positions and players that can fit certain profiles for certain games. And I like that. I like that a lot. I like that my manager is approaching every game differently versus Tuchel, which Tuchel did that too. But I feel like with Tuchel, and listen, I love Tuchel. I feel like with Tuchel, he always had like his 3-4-3. And he stuck with that 3-4-3 because the 3-4-3 got him results and it could beat most opponents. With Maresca, he has his inverting and stuff, right? But because of the flexibility of it and how many roles he can change, he approaches every game slightly different. And I really, really fuck with that. And I think that comes from the fact that he knows he's an inexperienced manager. He knows he's new to this Premier League. And hey, man. Humble Maresca. Humble-esca, bro. I'm just saying. So I think that being said, he has plans for Nkunku in the 10, which is the position we've all been asking him to play. Mind you, he has played a little bit of 10. He drops down a bit. I think, what game was it? There was a game where you saw him more as a 10, and I think that may have been either Noah or Newcastle. I think it was Noah, but it wasn't that impressive because I don't know. He wasn't on it. He's not been on good form. But, excuse me. It's going to be so interesting to see what he's going to do and who he's going to partner up with. Because that's what I thought too. When I saw that he had Zhao and Cole Palmer in the 10, in my head I was thinking like, why don't we try Nkunku in that? And I think I may have mentioned that in the last Casually Chelsea show. But I was thinking like, why don't we try that? Why not? And now Maresca confirmed pretty much in the press conference today that he will experiment with that depending on the game. Depending on what game it is, he will try Nkunku in the 10. And he knows that Nkunku is a 10, which is great because I was worried that he thought of Nkunku as a striker and only wanted to play him as a striker. Because we know there's some managers that see certain players only in certain positions. And we know that's not their best position. So he's well aware of Nkunku's profile. He's well aware of Nkunku's best position and how to use him. And hopefully when he does play as a 10, he cooks. Because I like Nkunku as a 10 a lot. I genuinely do. And I think this season, for better or for worse, I think it's been for better. Cole Palmer's taking that 10, and he's robbed us of that chance to experience that. I also think Maresca understands that Nkunku is really good at being multifaceted, which is why he played him at left wing, which he mentioned. He played him at striker. He played him as a false 9. He can play as a 10. He knows Nkunku is versatile, and he appreciates that about Nkunku, which is why, that was how he answered when the journalist asked him, like, what do you like about Nkunku? Like, they really were glazing up the whole Nkunku question and the Reece James question, but they really were just glazing up and just like, bro, what do you like about Nkunku? And he just said that, like, he can play in the left wing, he can play as a striker, he likes the multifaceted assets of Nkunku. So hey, listen, I'm excited to see Nkunku play in the 10. I'm happy that Maresca finally identified or came out and said it. Like, hey, I know he's not been getting many minutes. A lot of players haven't been getting many minutes. And even in the Tosin interview, they kind of asked him, like, does Maresca kind of instill in you guys to appreciate any minutes that you get? And Tosin said, yeah. In the cup game, whether it be whatever, I think Maresca has instilled an environment where even if you're a B squad team or A squad, doesn't matter. I think he's instilled this environment where, like, you guys are really important in the roles you are. Premier League team, their role is to do as well as they can in the Premier League. Cup team, your job is to win us trophies. both sound really important, don't they? So depending on how you frame it, and Maresca being as smart as he is, he probably framed it really well. Yeah, the players in the B team are probably going to be happy to be playing in the B team. I'll be so honest with you. So this idea that Nkunku's upset, who knows? It might not even be true at all, to be honest with you. Because in their head, they might be thinking like, okay, we're winning trophies for the club. That team is getting us top 4. Top 4 isn't a trophy. So you tell me, would you rather be the team aiming for top 4 or would you rather be the team aiming for trophies? I think both of them sound pretty important to me. So I think Maresca has a good mentality in this squad, instilled in the squad, and I love to see it because, you know, we know
I am not a clown.
it was definitely not instilling that bullshit. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in chat. Let me catch up with chat one more time. Let's see. So here we go. I'm not reading that name, but Jo, thank you for joining us in the chat. Who'd you take, Gyökeres or Victor Osimhen? That's a really tough question. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I personally me. Yo, fuck it. I would take Gyökeres. I would take Gyökeres just so Manchester United can't get him. There you go. Fuck it. I said it. Screw you, United. You can't have everything. We'll take Gyökeres so you can't have him. And there's no way in fuck Osimhen is going to you. We could potentially get both. Who knows, guys? You guys already know we love to stock up. We could potentially get both. Just for the fuck of it. Just for the fuck of it. But I think Gyökeres, for sure. I feel like it's just, but then I don't know, because Osimhen provides like a different type of profile. Fuck, man. I don't know. That's a tough question. You know what? Because he provides a different profile and he can still score goals with that profile, depending on the game and how Maresca wants to be like, okay, I want you for this game because they play a high line. I want you for this game because it's a low block. I could see Osimhen being the clear, like, choice. So, you know what? I take it back. Osimhen. Give me Osimhen. Plus, he's a Chelsea fan. So, there you go. There's your answer. Big up, brother. Heidenheim. Yep. Curry Pirate. He has missed 2 years due to injury. Stop it. It should be headline news. Reece needs to get sold. All right. I completely disagree with you. There are many players that get hurt all the time and it doesn't make headline news. So I don't see why Reece James has to be the headline to everything. You think he doesn't already feel like shit because he can't depend on his body and he wants to play and he can't? So adding on to that, like, it doesn't help. I don't see anything productive coming out of that. So I completely disagree. And plus, even if he's missed because of injuries, like, it's not news. Like, it shouldn't be headline news if he gets hurt. Like, I don't see Luke Shaw headlining and going viral on Twitter. Why does Reece James have to go viral? Like, again, it's just like, yeah, these players are injury prone. That is what it is. Why does Reece James have to be such the headline to every Twitter article when he gets hurt? But when Luke Shaw gets hurt or other players get hurt, no one gives a fuck. So, listen, it's, again, just putting more unnecessary pressure on the player than needs to be. Brian Magari, big up casually. Your prediction against Aston Villa. Big up to you, Brian. That's a good question. I'm gonna say Chelsea 3, Villa 1. That's what I'm gonna say. That's my gut feeling. Sell Reece. Drinkwater and Conte got sold because of injury concerns too. Tough life. I don't think Drinkwater got sold because of injuries, but Conte, yes, 100%. Which is why I don't disagree. I think you should sell Reece, but I don't think it's going to happen in this window. I think it's going to be a slow phase out. So we'll slowly phase Reece out of the team, kind of like how Aspie was phased out, but he was phased out way later than needed. So yeah, I think he will be sold. I do think he needs to be sold. I think those wages need to be taken off and given to other players that can stay fit, only because it's fair. And yeah, sorry. And I love Reese, but yeah, no, you need to stay fit, bro. Smash the like, people. You see stream elements here. Big up Chris. Smash the likes up, people. And he's using his emojis because he is a member. So if you guys aren't a member, you can use emojis if you are a member. They're cool emojis, I promise you. I guarantee it. So wide. All right. Big up Jez saying big up Marshall. Big up to you, my friend. CWP, you should do more of these one-on-ones. Loving it. I'm glad you enjoy it. I wasn't sure if you guys gave a shit about what I had to say, but hey, I'm glad you guys actually are enjoying it. And you guys already know, like, I'll do one-on-ones and I'll do interviews as well. And I'm gonna set up the next Casually Hour or Chelsea Hour guests soon, and you guys are gonna enjoy it. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying the guests that I've been bringing in, because I think this is a good format to bring them in and just have a chat about Chelsea. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I really do. And it's shorter too, because I know some of you don't watch the whole 3 hours of the Casually Chelsea show. It's a lot, and I get it. Some of you probably put it on during work, like I said, in the background or something, and I appreciate you so much for doing that. But yeah, I understand, like, some of you don't have 3 hours out of your day to, like, sit. Some of you just like to sit and watch YouTube, and that's fine. That's the way I made this format, because it's just easier. We may be doing Kunku Palmer in the Saints game midweek. Maybe. That'd be cool. It depends. Like, I listen, I personally don't know how the Saints play. So depending on how they play, maybe we can get away with doing in Kunku Palmer. And it might be because, yeah, midweek. That's true. It's a midweek game. So I think I could see in Kunku Felix potentially in that midweek game in the Premier League. Who knows? All right. Kunku played 10 with France. I also heard he got dropped during France. Didn't Didier Deschamps drop him? I heard that. It should be damning for him. Pelu saying, Marshall, can you give us a lineup prediction? I feel like it's going to be so random. Sure. Guys, I'm going to stop doing the shorts, by the way. I know I did shorts for a bit for the lineup predictions, but I think I'm done for that. Also, I'm assuming for Heidenheim. You guys want a lineup prediction for Heidenheim? Okay. Heidenheim. All right. So I think in between the sticks, it's going to be Jorgensen, obviously. Then we're going to have Tosin with Axel. No. It might be Tosin Benoit. I think it's going to be Tosin and Benoit. Axel's going to play, because Maresca said in his presser, Neto and Malo Gusto are training again, but he's saving them for Villa. So I think it's going to be Benoit, Tosin in the middle, Axel at right back, which, by the way, Achimpong was seen in training. There may have been progress made with Achimpong in terms of his contract. I will keep an eye on that and we'll report it in the Casually Chelsea show if we find out something about that. But regardless, Axel at right back, unfortunately. Renato Vega left back. And I think we're going to see KDH with Cassidy. So a KDH Cassidy pivot. Because let's be honest, Heidenheim, I think we should be able to beat them away. Hey, yo. Beat them with the lineup that we have, right? So KDH Cassidy in the 10 in Kunku, Mark Gui in the striker, and then I would personally put Nani at right wing and Mudryk at left wing. Battle of mid wing. That was mean. Sorry. Yeah, let me not. You know, I'll give myself this one. Yeah. No, Nani's a good player, but I think he needs to be demoted for a bit or placed to B team, change of responsibility, whatever. But yeah, that's my lineup prediction. I just want to see Nkunku at the 10 and Palmer right wing at once. Well, we did see Palmer right wing for Man City, but Nkunku was left wing. But I would like to see that. Yeah, you're not wrong, I would like to see that at least once. JC, I wouldn't take any of the two. Look elsewhere. Oh, Gyökeres and Osimhen. Fair enough. Big up Marshall. Big up JC. CSC for life saying here, I think so. Players want to play in big games, not just conference league games. That is understandable. Yeah, for sure. I think we're getting away with it because it's a conference league. But if it was Champions League, I don't think we'd be putting those conference league minutes to those players. I think it'd be our strongest lineup, and the Premier League would probably be somewhat that same lineup with a few changes to key players. So that's where you would have like Nkunku. That's up to Maresca to figure out. I don't know how he's gonna figure that out. His first time in Champions League, how he's gonna rotate and keep the side fresh. That's an interesting predicament if we make it to Champions League, which we should. Jardel Davis, fuck them both. Give me Delap and keep Jackson as one. That's not a bad shout either. Listen, I don't mind recruiting another striker, but please give me a goalkeeper first. Big up Joel. CFC for Life saying, when's the next call-on show? I like those. CFC for Life, the next call-in show will be next Wednesday. So not today, but next Wednesday, the 1st of the month. I just couldn't do it the 1st of November because I came back from vacation and my life was a mess. Still is, but yeah, next week. So tune in. It'll be 9 UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So we're just going to bring it up an hour earlier than the usual time I start, just because it makes life easier. But yeah, 9 UK time next Wednesday for the call-in show, which I would love to hear what you guys have to say, especially considering what I'm going to be saying next. Joel, we need to try Palmer on the right again. Yeah, I would like to see that. Big up Staffy TV. Guys, if you haven't done so already, check out Staffy TV. Show him some love. Subscribe. Check me out on American Waffle. If you want to see more of the Man City talk, a very serious Man City talk, the first hour of American Waffle's latest episode is all about Man City Tottenham and the capitulation of Man City. So big up Staffy TV. Condolences or my best wishes to Pep. Feel better because my man was a mess yesterday. And I caught up to the chat. Let's see. Pelu saying, if we get Osimhen, then we lose both him and Jackson for AFCON at the same time. That's a good point. We probably should consider that as well. But we have Gui. I still don't know how to say his name, bro. Like, he told us how to pronounce it. I don't remember. How shitty of a fan I am. But all right, we have a few more minutes to talk about the last thing I wanted to bring up, which is, guys, I need to put things into perspective here. Now, I'm not going to completely get on board now and just get overhyped and say, Chelsea going to win the league. We're going to win the league. Yeah, no, I'm not going to. However, especially with how Liverpool are playing right now, they look unstoppable for whatever reason. But, well, okay, they look unstoppable, but they look like they can be had at. Overall, the quality of the Premier League teams, I feel like they mostly evened out and have been getting closer to one another than what it once was. And what I mean by that is that there was a point in the Premier League, especially last season, where top three completely isolated themselves from the rest of the table. And there was even a point in the Premier League at some point where it was just the big six and then everyone else was just fodder. This is like Barclays time, right? Now, I feel like, barring like relegation teams, I feel like any team can take points off of any team. And it's just a matter of like how likely it is to happen versus like how certain it is to happen. Nottingham Forest, for example. If you look at how Nottingham Forest are playing right now, or where they are in the table, listen, they may not have played the best game against Arsenal, but if you see what Nottingham Forest are doing this year, it's actually phenomenal and fascinating. Like, no one ever thought Nottingham Forest would do this good. And Nuno, of all managers, who failed at Tottenham, who did well for Wolves, but then fell off for Wolves and got sacked eventually. Or maybe he walked away. Did he resign from Wolves or did he get sacked? I don't remember. Got bullied by Benzema at fucking in Saudi League. It's just, I can't believe that he's doing this. It's crazy. It's respect Nuno, man. It's crazy how managers can sometimes make a comeback, bro. We also got Steve Cooper sacked. Why are people saying Steve Cooper's my guy? He's not my guy. All I said was that I'd rather him than Poch in the USA. That's all I said. Okay? And I was mad at the time. But I still stick by that. I'd rather fucking Steve Cooper than Poch. But anyways. Chelsea right now, where we stand on the league table, we are 1 point away from Man City. Man City's next game is against Liverpool. Man City is likely to draw or lose that match. They'll be lucky if they draw, considering their recent form. But they have to draw or lose that. Like, this is our chance, right? For Chelsea to... We must beat Villa. Like, we have to beat Villa. That's going to be a tough match because of the pressure on us. But we have to beat Villa. Because if we beat Villa, we are now in second place by 2 points. Or a point. But we'd be in second place, which is so much higher than anyone expected us. And then from there, beat Southampton, beat Spurs, beat Everton, beat who else do we play? I don't fucking know. Ipswich, so on and so forth. There are some tough games. There are some hiccups that could happen there, like Fulham for one. And I think Ipswich, I said, was the other one that could be a hiccup. But we should be able to win. And here's the thing. Chelsea fans are saying it. Content creators are saying it. I want to wait till the end of December before I say anything. Before I call anything, right? But I'm saying right now, if we end up, let's just say, only dropping points to maybe Villa, right? I mean, let's say we don't capitalize on this, and we win the rest of those games, guys, I'll sit here and tell you to your face, Chelsea are back, and that we are very likely in the title race. And it's hard to say that we're in a title race because we have a goalkeeper in Sanchez. But that could be solved in January. It could be. I'm not saying it's going to be, but it could be solved in January. Right? Time will tell. If we go on a good run, and this is just, I'm just painting a picture of like a potential outcome, right? If we go on a good run, and then we go in January and either call back Petrovic, or we call up Penders and he shows up, or whatever, or we get another goalkeeper that's actually going to be a starting goalkeeper, which I doubt. If that all happens, I can see Chelsea actually being in the title race. And now here's the thing. Because people are going to tell me, stop, we're not in the title race. We can't be in the title race with Sanchez and all this and that and all the bullshit. Listen, apparently Man City can't be in the title race with all the great players that people were saying before the summer. Oh, what great players they got. Esteval. People were telling me that, how can you say Gundogan isn't a good signing? I'll go back and I'll clip it up. I said what I said about Gundogan, and people now are seeing it. I said, I don't know about Gundogan. I think he's not going to be the same. He's older than when he was at City the first time. I don't think he's going to turn up the way he used to. People were like, oh, he did so well at Barca. And it's like, yo, fuck off, dude. It's a different league. And now we're seeing it, right? I think there is a path for Chelsea to actually be in a title race. Whether or not we end up winners, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. But we could be in that conversation. And this is where I kind of want to end the show. I said a while ago that I think Maresca and the team believe that they're capable of winning the league. And that is probably something that Maresca instilled in them. Because you got to remember, Maresca won his league last year. So he's gotten a taste of what it's like to do that run. to do that marathon. And let's be honest, guys. Leverkusen last season went undefeated. And by going undefeated, ended up winning the Bundesliga. They didn't win every match. They dropped points here and there, but they never lost. And people were ragging on Maresca for not getting results against United and Arsenal, which I get it. I was pissed off about it too. But I think the key there is that he didn't lose. He didn't drop points to those guys. Meaning those teams that we face only got 1 point. They didn't get 3. And we only got 1 point. So we went up in the table with them. So we kept up with those teams. Now, we are kind of making up for the loss against City if we win this next game and City lose or drop points via a draw. So then that nullifies that Man City loss. So then from that point, it's just being consistent and hoping that Liverpool drop points. Because I'll be honest with you guys, Liverpool will drop points at some point. Liverpool will drop points at some point. There will come a time where player injury will happen to key players. Gravenberch hasn't been hurt yet. He will get hurt at some point. Van Dijk, I think, will get injured at some point. Salah will go on a stint where he's not playing. It happens every season. One of these players will get injured at some point. It will happen to us too, but we have depth and they don't. Or at least not as good as depth as we have. They do have good players, though. I ain't gonna lie. They do have good players. Even off the bench, like Curtis Jones is having a good season. I ain't gonna lie. You still have McAllister. He's benching McAllister, I'm pretty sure. So there's still quality players in that team that could step up if a player were to, fall off. But regardless, they can be had at. They can be had at, and we've seen games where they've come close to losing it, and then they come back, or if they've come close to conceding. Brighton being one. I believe Southampton was another one where they came back to win it. They were losing, I think, 2-1 or something like that, or 2-0, and came back and won 3-2. I believe that was the score. I could be waffling, guys. I mean, it does happen. But I'm just saying, if by the end of December, we're still in second, I'm just saying. Maresca has won the league already in championship. He knows what championship, he knows what trophies, he knows what victory tastes like. You don't think he has the itch to do it again? Obviously, he's going to come out in the press conference and say, listen, top 4, I was not told any of this. Pochettino said it last year too, and we know why he got sacked. These managers get told things and they say certain things in the media, right? I don't think he was told to win the league. I think he was told, like, listen, we're trying to get to top 4. That's the goal. We want to get back into Champions League. And we think you're the guy for the job. And, like, listen, he reads the media too. Like, he knows. But where I think Maresca is motivating the players, it's the saying, aim for the moon and you'll land in the stars. Or maybe you'll land on the moon. So there's nothing wrong with Maresca telling these kids, listen, we are a good side and we can win the league. I believe in all of you. And I'm not saying they're going to do it. I think it's too soon. But with the way this team is playing, the mentality that Maresca seems to have instilled of don't lose. No matter what happens, do not lose. It could potentially lead to us being in the title race. Because let's be honest, guys, at some point we're going to be in a title race if we continue like this. Like, we will be second place team, and we can't say we're not in a title race at one point. Like, we just got to come out and say it. Like, as much as we don't want pressure on ourselves, listen, at the end of the day, we all expected top 4. We are surpassing our expectations at the moment. And considering how shit we were for the last 2 seasons, yeah, we are 100% surpassing our expectations. Mind you, the rest of the league maybe is not as good as it used to be, but I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to go and try to get a trophy out of this. I think it's aim for the moon, land in the stars mentality. Aim for the moon, land in the stars. I think Maresca is telling these kids you can win the league. And at the end of the day, Maresca, if you aim for the league and you fail to win the league, you still succeed because you are still well within top 4. And as of right now, he is putting a cushion in between top 4 and the rest of the teams if we continue this form. So that's my 2 cents about it. I know a lot of you guys don't agree with me, but that's fine. It's my 2 cents. We'll see. I didn't really even say that I think we're going to be in a title race. I kind of just painted a picture and painted a path for there to be a discussion about that. And I think we got to come to a point where, like, hey, we just got to admit, like, we're in this. We're in this sooner than we thought. And we're probably not ready because we have Roberto Sanchez in between the posts. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have an Ederson in between the posts, and that's not enough. So let me read up the comments, and then we'll close it out, guys. Where did I leave off? Kevin, remember we and Arsenal on same goal difference, so we got to score goals. And we will. We will. We will be there. We will be there. Joel, January signings will tell us if they're trying to challenge this season. And yeah, that's true. That's true. For both teams, for Liverpool and for Chelsea. Marshall, hold on, stop. Let's take one game at a time. We're another leopard in the tree. Bro, nah, we ain't no leopards. We're fucking lions. Blue lions, bro. That's what we are. We stick out like a fucking sore thumb in the Sahara, bro. That's what I'm just saying. Ain't nobody seen a blue lion anywhere else except for fucking London, bro. We're the only blue lions out there. We're an endangered species. So, hey, we're out there. People are looking for us. Sanchez really will keep us out of the title race. He's top in errors leading to goal. Yeah, that's the one sticking point, right? But hold on. I mean, you never know. Maybe January will bring change to the Sanchez future. Maybe he gets hurt. You never know. You never know. COC for life. I'm just going to be patient with the team and see how we get on in the next 10 games. I'm fine with top 4 this season. I'm fine with top 4 as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, listen, if we go for a little sneaky, cheeky title run, bruh, I'm just saying... I'll still be happy. I'll still be happy because we still got top 4. It'll be disappointing, right? But like, hey, at least like we know where we are. We know where we stand, you know? The impartial blue. Let's not run before we can walk properly. We're walking nicely at the moment. Let's just take things slowly. Listen, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm just saying there's a path there. And I'm like, we're walking through the woods and I saw a path and I'm like, yo, there can be a pot of gold at the end of that. But let's just keep going this way. You know, I'm just saying. Just entertaining a conversation. Vic, no way Maresca comes in thinking he can win the league. Yes, the narrative may be changing at the moment, but he knew the club is behind City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Work to do. Yeah, but if you look at the table, next week the club may be ahead of City, Arsenal. But yeah, listen, I get where he's coming from, 100%. Vic just likes to disagree with me, to be honest. But yeah, I get where he's coming from in terms of like time at the club. Like City have had Pep for how long? Arsenal had Pep for how long? Or not Pep, I'm sorry, Arteta for how long? Liverpool had Jurgen Klopp for the longest time. Now they're moving on to Arne Slot. There's work to do. You're not wrong. Madrid were so bad. Yeah, Madrid suck, bro. Madrid are horrendous this season. Marshall, can I request you look at our fixture list from 25th of January? Also, toughest run in. I'll look at it in a minute. Actually, no. Well, we'll save it for another time because I do have to close out the show. Vic, Pochettino won the league with PSG. What's the point? Maresca finished 1 point ahead of Ipswich, bro. Calm down. Bro, he also lost the league his first season with Messi. So let's not compare apples and oranges. I'm just saying, like, man won the league, so he's gotten a taste of what it's like to win the league. Pochettino came in and immediately started bitching about his team. So he can go fuck himself. The Impartial Blue. It's a great mentality and play style thus far that has been implemented, but let's relax. Let's see what we can do against Villa this weekend. Why is everyone telling me to relax, bro? I just simply said, bro, there's a fucking path there where the leaves are on the sides and shit, and I see gravel. It could be a shortcut, but if y'all want to walk this way, then let's keep walking this way. I'm just pointing out that there's something there. That's all I'm doing. God. CFC for life. Oh, no, I'm sorry. EE. The same punch that made Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe look like bums. Yeah, exactly, EE. CFC for life. Obviously, if we've reached 30 games and we're second, then yeah, title check. Bro, 30 games? Come on now. 30 games? I think you should know by 20 games whether or not you're in a little bit of a cheeky title race. 30 games when there's 8 games left of the season? Like, come on now. That's too easy. We gotta have some chess, bro. Smash the like button. Oh, yeah, I know how to read that. Sanchez says hi. Yeah, I understand, Sanchez. Marshall, during last month, I heard our fans say horrible things about Enzo, Felix, Nani, Mudryk, Sanchez, Badiashile, Gusto, Disasi. How can we be good after those assessments? I mean, players dip in and out of form. This happens. And also, it's just Chelsea fan base. Literally Chelsea fan base. They just overreact to everything. That's how I started the show. We saw how they treated Cucurella and Nicholas Jackson in the beginning in the first season. Weren't willing to wait or be patient. Chelsea fans are just impatient. That's the nature of Chelsea fans. That's the nature of the blue line in the middle of the desert. What is this? Leopard in the trees? Blue lions. They need to make a blue lion emoji, bro. Marshall can't see. Oh, no, we can't see, Marshall. Leave us alone. Yeah, no. Y'all can't see the vision. Y'all can't see the vision, all right?
Fucking minerals, bruv.
Y'all got no minerals.
Let's have it right.
All right? But anyways, so is there any likelihood that we are overreacting right now in terms of, like, not thinking that we are in a title race? I don't think so. I feel like it's fair to... Because of Sanchez, I feel like it's fair to say we're not in a title race. Because of Sanchez. And that's kind of what's holding me back from saying with actual chess, like, guys, we're in a title race. I hate to, like, I would fight you guys about it, but I'm not gonna because I get it. Like, Robert Sanchez is literally a fucking liability. And then we have the worst fan bases in the world. Honestly, second worst. Because imagine being a Tottenham fan. If you were a Tottenham supporter and you were just saying sack Ange, even though the biggest issue is the guy that owns everything, right? That's like the biggest problem at Tottenham, and we all know this. Fucking Jeff Bezos over there. He just owns everything. So he's the big problem, not the managers. And the fact that he sacked Jose Mourinho before he was about to win a trophy for them is crazy. So he's the biggest problem. I would hate to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan. I really would. I really would. But that being said, guys, little baby announcement before I end today's show. Look out for a new show I'll be participating in with a very special content creator over on the homepage, okay? So I'm going to make a playlist for it. You guys already know how I do. If you go on the homepage, I make playlists for all the shows I'm in, American Waffle, so on and so forth. This new show I'm going to be a part of will be 2 other guests and myself. It'll be about 30 minutes, 40 minutes long. We're going to talk Chelsea fans. But hopefully you guys enjoy that content. I think we're going to have our premiere Monday. I'm not sure, but just keep a lookout for it. I will put a playlist for it on the homepage, on the YouTube channel page. Keep an eye out for it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. But I'll be on there. I'll have my say. We'll have some footy talk, and we'll break down Chelsea like we always do. And I really hope you guys enjoy that content, but be on the lookout for it. There is new content coming out. I'm grinding, guys. I'm hustling and I'm grinding. I'm really trying to get out there and grow the platform. So help me out by subscribing if you haven't done so already. Help me out by liking the video. Help me out by sharing. Leave a comment. Check out the links in the description. Subscribe. All that fun stuff. It all helps out tremendously. And yeah, memberships. Memberships is also a big way to help out. So if you guys haven't done so already, do check out the memberships. There's the lowest tier is 99p, $1, and you get some cool emojis. I give priority to members in the chat. Obviously, once this show gets a lot busier and there's too many chats, I will start to give more priority to the members comments versus and mods too, versus like the non-members, just because like just the amount of volume, it's just too much to handle. I can't read too much and take up too much of the show. It already has taken up too much of the show. I'm 15 minutes over time. You motherfuckers called it. Chelsea Hour Plus. That's what I should call it now. Chelsea Hour Plus. Because it's like I always go over the time. But regardless, big up to our proper casual and higher tiered members. They get shout outs at this tier at the end of every show. And I haven't been doing this at Chelsea Hour, so I'm going to bring it in and do it now. TM127, EE, Hassan Nawaz, Dark, Adrian, A. Soliman, Scott, Josh CFC, M3, IE Wani, Gabriel, and, well, this user's name used to be
What?
but they changed to Banana. they changed their name to Banana.
What?
So big up to Banana for being a proper casual, I guess. Big up to all of you guys. I'm gonna find. Let's find someone to redirect to real quick. And I will read your chat, guys, in just a minute when I'm off air. I do have to head out. All right, I'm gonna give it to you guys. You have the option between Lee Gunner and Don Usam. So if you're listening in right now, let me know if you want to go either Lee Gunner or Don Usam while I read up your comments here. First answer gets it. Sanchez, bro, he's not that big. He is a big factor. If we are in contention without him, then we are in contention with him also. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's a good way to look at it. Let it be that fraud Hussam. Okay, I see Hussam. I say we are the worst fan base because the fans sending death threat to Potter. Yeah, that's too much. Marlon, they were Seagulls from Brighton. Big up Marshall. Big up Josh. Big up more like Chelsea Happy Hour with Marshall here. Big up the whole chat. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Josh. Big up to you. And yeah, we're gonna go to Hussam, ladies and gents. First answer got it. All right, let Hussam know where you're coming from. Copy this raid message. Show some love. And listen, he can't banter him because he just won against Real Madrid. He got his sweet, sweet revenge. So I got to congratulate him on that. But guys, thank you for coming to the Chelsea Hour show. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. I think I'll be back with a guest. And yeah, we'll rock and roll from there. Hopefully we are in second place next time we discuss. And we can have a really awesome discussion on Chelsea. But y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. And as always, stay casual. Peace.